Once the pistachios are harvested, they're sent to a processing facility where they'll undergo several steps before they're ready to be packaged and sent out to you, the consumer.
The routine is we shake the trees, get the crop, dry it, and then it goes into the processing building. The first thing is an aspirator where it will suck out any of the blank shells or the twigs and leaves, anything like that. Because we really don't want to run all of that through the rest of our machinery. And then it will go to the needle sort. About 10 to 15% each year, and it varies, but the pistachios don't all split on the trees. So we want to sort out those nuts that are not split, what we call the tights, from the split shells. And the way that process occurs on the tree is that the nut meat forms all summer long inside the shell that is formed first in the springtime. And by the end of the summer, it will have grown enough to exert so much pressure it splits the suture line. And so, but some don't. And so we sort those with the needle sort. And the needle sort's just a barrel covered inside liner with needles. As the nuts tumble over the needle hooks the opening in the nut and rides the liner up to the top, and then the brush up on top cleans the needles off, and those nuts that aren't open roll around on the bottom and just fall out into another bin. And then we're going to shell those in order to recover the nut meat inside. From that needle sorter, it'll go to a color sorter, where any blemishes on the shell, the color sorter is going to kick those out. And we could dye those. However, we choose not to use the dyes, and we are also going to call that shelling stock, so that we have a premium product out of that color sorter. And after that is done, then it goes to the sorting table, and that is the human eye looking at it. First of all, the machinery looks at it, and it will absolutely sort 98%. It is so effective. But because of our particular market, where we want the premium nut or the gourmet trade, then we again put it through the sorting of the human eye, where the gals will sit, and all those nuts will pass through in front of them on a conveyor, and they will pick out anything that maybe that 2% that the machines missed.
Pistachios can be sold as many different retail items like snack nuts, candy, baked goods, and more. My personal favorite, pistachio ice cream.
We have a full candy line and do cookies and biscotti, ice cream. We even use a pistachio extract in making pistachio wine. So if there's a way that we can use pistachios, we are going to put it there. Yeah.
Well, we have the basic pistachio nut, which we have the nut meat variety itself, which is, we have salted, unsalted, green chili nut meats. Then we have our product that comes in the shell, which is red chili, extra hot red chili, lemon lime, salted and roasted, unsalted and roasted. And then we have our pistachio candies, which are hard candies like brittle and toffee and crunch. And we also have chocolate variety candies, which we have bark, which is just the chocolate with the pistachios. And then we also have clusters, and then we do a popcorn with pistachios in it, and then we also have pistachio baked goods, which are the biscotti and the cookies.
Well, without a doubt, the salted and roasted pistachio as a snack food has always been the top seller, always. We do different flavors. You know, from New Mexico, you want to have chili on things. So we have red chili flavored, green chili flavored, garlic and green chili flavored, lemon and lime. But all of the flavors together equal what we sell as the salted and roasted product. And that's, people will usually say, oh, I'm a purist. I'm a purist. You know, I want just the regular old salted and roasted pistachio. And that's fine. But the flavors are popular too.
The green chili, the red chili, and then we have green chili with extra garlic. We use it on an in shell, and then we have lemon lime. We use green chili from hedge, fresh, only from New Mexico. The chili sticks better on the nuts when they're warm. So we put them in the oven, put them out in the machine, and then the guy in the back put the chili on the nuts, and I have my little ping pong paddle and mix them like I count 41 times. It's the old thing. I don't know why it's not 45 or 40, but it's 41.
There have been several studies on the health benefits of eating nuts, like pistachios. So snacking on a handful of nuts like these may do more than just curb your appetite.
One of the best things about it is it does contain a lot of the antioxidants that our bodies need to, and they're kind of like mini policemen that help take care of our cells and keep them healthy, keep all the bad things from happening to us. It is gluten-free, it is cholesterol-free, the nuts are, and they also have a high amount of potassium. In addition, the pistachios are very well known for having monounsaturated fats. They are high in fiber, they're cholesterol free, and then they are also gluten free. There's about 10% of the adult's intake for protein without animal fats can be found in a serving of pistachios. So that's an exciting way to get what we need that way. There's the amount of potassium and iron that we need. A serving size of shelled nuts would be 1/4 of a cup, and a serving size of the ones that still have the shell on them would be 1/2 of a cup. And in that, we can get the amount that we need for our daily intakes for a single serving with 49 of these nuts. Now, who's going to stand and count the amount of nuts that you eat? But really, you can't just eat one. Seems like they're as easy as they are to shell, that it is exciting to be able to eat as many as the servings with 49. And that would be 160 calories if you ate the full serving. Now, up to 20% of your daily intake that's required for the vitamin Bs and B6 vitamins in the pistachios can be found, and then we find at least 30 more vitamins and minerals. We'll find calcium, we'll find iron, we'll find the potassium. So it is, as you can see, full of very important nutrients that we need on a daily basis.
Pistachios have a unique flavor that can complement many different foods. Cooking with pistachios can be a culinary delight.
I love pistachios because they work really well in entrees and dinner dishes and desserts, because the pistachios don't disintegrate or absorb too much water and become mushy in a dish. So they retain their hardness and their bite to them. So they're really nice, and they just taste wonderful, and they work wonderful in our meals. They're a New Mexico product, and we enjoy nuts very well here in New Mexico, and we're lucky to have them, be able to grow them here.
And they give a dish an additional nutty flavor that you don't get from a pecan or a walnut. You can add them in addition to the walnut or the pecan, but it gives it an extra nutty flavor. And it has a lot of fiber, so it's really good for us.
These nuts can be quite addicting. It's hard to eat just one, so you can see how some people get a little nutty when it comes to pistachios.
Well, we have different groups. One is the local customers that have been shopping here for years, and we offer a tour, a daily tour that's free during the week, and so we get people that bring out family, and it's quite interesting. It's a free tour, it takes about an hour, but it shows from the tree until the package what all we do with the pistachios.
Pistachios are marketed in a very unique way. We have some that are in the shell and some that are outside of the shell. Now, usually it's about 80% of the marketed pistachios are marketed as in the shell. So they would come to us like this. Now the other 20%, this is the part that's really, really good. They're marketed in the candies and the baked goods and the ice creams. So they would be opened and shelled, and then they would be, now this might be a little more expensive because a little more processing has been done to the product.
People love those red, those pink pistachios. That was a marketing ploy put out by the importers way back, in the early 30s, where we were importing mostly from Iran The process over in the Middle East was such that it was mostly hand done. The hull that's on the outside of that hard inner shell, if it's not taken off within the first 24 hours that the nut comes off the tree, it's going to start to leak oils onto that hard inner shell, which stain the shell. And so the importer saw this, it was good product, but it was not pretty. And so they came up with dyeing with a food grade dye. They would just spray the dye on, and it's called a marketing cosmetic. That's exactly what it is. Does not enhance the flavor, doesn't preserve anything. It simply is a cosmetic, but it worked. Even nowadays, we sell almost exclusively in the United States just the natural colored nut. There's still a market for people that think, by golly, pistachios are supposed to be red, and so they will dye those just to satisfy that market, but we don't.
When it comes to nuts, nothing compares to pistachios, and thanks to the dedicated growers, we can enjoy every crunchy bite.
It's the type of crop that not everybody would be interested in. It's a lot of hard work, and it does create a crop that's very healthy, a lot of value added to it, and it's a rare crop, and it's something I think that needs to be expanded in the United States.
Farming's work, and it isn't for everybody. Farming is a lifestyle. You have to enjoy getting up in the morning and getting going, and taking care of the irrigation pumps 7 days a week. If it's irrigation season, that's what you need to do.
The most enjoyable part of the farming operation is being out in amongst the trees, seeing them grow, and watching them mature. And you get to where you know almost all the trees. You don't have a name for them, of course, but you do know how they're doing.
Love seeing the grows. Then looking down the tree row, the seasons. There's a season for everything.
From the orchard to the processing plant, retailer, and then consumer, the pistachio may be a tough nut to crack, but it's definitely worth it.
Field Trip was made possible by the Cooperative Extension Service at New Mexico State University and by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
My favorite is green chili garlic.
I like to eat them right off the tree.
And there you have lemon curd with creme fraiche, drizzled with honey and some New Mexico pistachios.
My very favorite way to enjoy pistachios is in pistachio ice cream.
If you would like to purchase a copy of this program, please visit krwg.org.